Hi, my name is Dallin Barlow, and I'm doing my topic presentation on the economy in Pakistan. It's in the neighborhood. Um, it's how their economy compares to Iran, India, and the USA. So to begin, I just had a few questions to better basically help people better understand what's going on. And so the first question obviously is, what does an economy consist of? And also, how's an economy measured? And these are just to get a basic understanding of what, how, and what an economy actually is. The next few are what comprises Pakistan's economy, what comprises U.S., Iran, and India's economy. How does Pakistan's economy compared to other economies? What does the future economy of Pakistan hold? What makes up an economy? So, uh, Very quickly, I just want to go over what an economy is and how it functions generally speaking before getting into specifics. So just a basic definition, an economy is the wealth and resources of a country or region, specifically in terms of the production and consumption of goods and services. It is measured in GDP and inflation. Uh, GDP is GDP is basically is the total value of everything produced by all the people and companies in the country. It doesn't matter if they are citizens or foreign-owned companies. They are located within the country's boundaries. The government counts their production as the GDP, or gross domestic production. Inflation is sustained increase in the general level of prices for goods and services in a country. Is measured as an annual percentage change. For example, if you buy a pack of gum for $1, and inflation rises 2% over that year, then by the end of the year, that same pack of gum will cost you $1.02. Inflation isn't inherently good and it isn't inherently bad. Too much can be a bad thing, and too little is not good either, as it is need to progress. Most countries figure about 2 to 3% is what they're aiming for to progress. So let's get into Pakistan. What creates Pakistan's GDP or Pakistan's economy? Um, so right here we're gonna. So these are the three main areas that comprise Pakistan's economy. The first one is service. It makes up 55.6% of Pakistan's GDP or economy. The service sector it consists of transport, storage, communications, finance, insurance, wholesale, and retail trade. That being said, about half of the service is made up of wholesale trade and retail trade. The other ones comprise the rest of it, but about 30% of that 55% is made up of wholesale trade and retail trade. The agriculture part of, of Pakistan is very important. The agriculture sector comprises 25.2% of Pakistan's GDP. The big contributors in this section are wheat, cotton, sugarcane, and rice. They make about 75% of this entire area. They do obviously sell. There are other goods, but they do make up these ones right here make up the bulk of it. Like I say, 75% of what agriculture is. Um, and I just thought this was kind of interesting. With agriculture being about a quarter of Pakistan's entire economy, you can imagine why there's so many fights with India and such over water, over trying to get those water rights from the river. I thought that was kind of interesting as well. Um, the last one, the smallest one, is the industry. It's 19.2%. Uh, the bulk of the industry is just made up of cotton, textile, and apparel manufacturing. It makes up These two industries make up about 66% of the industry sector. So you have the service sector, the agriculture sector, and the industry sector. And 66% of the industry sector is cotton, textile, and apparel manufacturing. Um, and also, it employs about 40% of Pakistan's labor force. So that's pretty interesting. Other ones that I didn't include on the slide were cement, fertilizer, edible oil, sugar, steel, tobacco, chemicals, machinery, and food processing. So those are other things that are that are that are part of that industry. So right here, we're going to just dive into comparing the GDP of other countries, of Iran, India, and Pakistan. And this is just their annual GDP this is in US dollars, and so you see 1827.64 on 2012 for India. That's actually in billions. It's not, they didn't just make $1,800 that year. So this, I just did this mostly to give you guys an idea of where Pakistan is hitting annually, where they're comparing to India and India as well as Iran. And the next chart has United States on it. I just didn't include it on one slide. I want to do two different slides because the United States produces so much, it really, you can barely even see these other numbers. So so yeah, you can see the United States obviously produces much more as far as GDP goes. And this is just total gross domestic production. So this so like those areas we were looking over, trade and stuff, that services and industry, that plays a big factor in the United States GDP. However, there are other factors. Just because the United States has such high numbers doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best in all categories contributing to GDP or the economy overall. And the next chart is going to show you that. So this chart, I made it to give you guys an idea of exactly these are with last year's numbers, with 2016's numbers. And so this is showing that Pakistan, India, Iran, and USA, who basically is making the most money and who's doing the best in the economy. The ones that are in red are the best in each category. So you have GDP, Pakistan made 283.66 billion, and you can see United States obviously beat all these. Pakistan is actually kind of more towards the back of the group on this one. The GDP per capita. Now this is important. The per capita. So if a country, for example, India is producing much more than Iran or Pakistan. However, they have a much bigger population than Pakistan or Iran. So the per capita is basically that number, the total amount of production, divided by the population. And so the numbers are a little bit more even with Pakistan and India when you do per capita. Iran pulls ahead, and obviously United States comes out on top on that. The GDP growth, this is over about 2007 to 2017, and Pakistan is actually winning in that category. They're pulling ahead, and that's why a lot of people are very optimistic about the future of Pakistan. The unemployment rate, India is actually leading as far as you want to have a very low unemployment rate, obviously. And Pakistan and the United States, actually, believe it or not, are kind of neck and neck right there. Obviously, you have different salaries, but they're neck and neck. Inflation, the inflation is, like I say, you're looking for 2 to 3%. So Pakistan probably would be winning this, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say with us giving 0.1%. We usually want a bit better of a percentage on that. Pakistan has a little bit too high of percentage on inflation, but they would probably be, I didn't put a red one down because there is no definite winner in this category, but they would probably be pulling ahead as far as a number that everyone's shooting for. So just in conclusion, the conclusion is that Pakistan has a strong economy. And while it's difficult to measure up to other economies such as the United States, it is growing, and that is something very positive. And it appears to continue to grow. The election in 2013, it seems to have really bolstered that. Um, and it's definitely trying to secure its footing as a notable economy, a force to be reckoned with in the world. The future economy of Pakistan's economy is uncertain. I read a bunch of articles and whatnot, and a lot of them were just saying they went back and forth on it. Some of them would say Pakistan's going to fail in the next 5 years. Some of them were like, this is going to be the next big economy, one that we have to that we need to watch out for. And it they all seem to have great points, but in the end, I didn't know which one. I really didn't know which one was the right answer. The point is that there are different opinions on what the future holds for Pakistan. And that being said, it will be very, I look forward to seeing everything that happens with Pakistan. Um, here's my works cited page. If in case any of you guys want to take a look at any of those. So yeah, that's been my presentation, and thank you so much.